Hey, what's up you guys, people of the internet, everyone who clicked on this very video. My name is Cass, and today I'm gonna talk about university and books. This concept, I thought out a million different formats for it, but finals are on the way, I'm a tired student, we're just gonna have a chatty video. The reason I'm making this video is because I realized I have no books set at university. I have 6 of them, those are the ones I'm going to talk about. I find that very little in comparison to the millions of books that I set up in high school. So I thought that was interesting, and that's what I'm going to talk about. And I'm going to relate all of these books a little bit to my own university experience so far, because we're a semester in. That pretty much makes me an expert, right? That's how that works, right? Anyway, I have 6 books, one of which doesn't 100% count. Is this baby, Radio Silence by Alice Oseman. One of my favourite books. I only read it this year, but it's definitely I think it will be my 2018 favourite book I read. It will definitely be in the top 3. This is not set at university, but it revolves so wholly around university that I decided I'm allowed to put it in here. I read this book in the summer, just before I went to university, and this book is all about how university isn't the only way to go in life, even if you're smart and you did things in school and everyone expects you to go to university. I was about to go to university when I read this book, and I was pretty convinced that it was the right thing to do for me, but I was also smart and expected to go to university because of that, and I thought, for instance, the main character in this book, that kind of my intelligence was one of the main defining factors of myself. And this book has a strong message of you don't have to go to university if it doesn't feel right for you. And even though I wanted to go to university, this book made me doubt for a second if I wanted to go to university. Did I want to do that? Was this the right thing for me, or did I just think I want to do it because that's what society expects of me, and what my family expects of me, and what I expect of myself? Is that why I want this? Do I even want this? I already signed up for a university. I'm going to university in a few weeks, but is it the right thing to do? Questioned my whole life situation because of this book. It's great. I love this book. Also, I'm at university now, and I'm quite liking it. Though not to take away from this message of the book that university isn't always the way to go and shouldn't always be the way to go. I wholeheartedly agree with it. But I'm very glad I have found that it was the way to go for me, and I am very glad to be at university and feel that I am in the right place. Which is good, because this book had me real worried for just a wee second. The second one wasn't my favourite. It's When Dimple Met Rashid by Sanja Menon. Pretty good still. I don't remember much about this. I think I read it in 2017, maybe. And this is not technically not set at university. It kind of is though. If I remember it correctly, it's a summer program before the university actually started. I don't remember much about the plot of this at all. I like the cultural diversity and things. That's all I remember. But what this allows me to talk about is introduction week. I don't know how this works in different universities in different countries, but in the Netherlands, most universities have an introduction week, which is where you go to the university before classes start, you get sorted into groups, and with that group you kind of do fun activities the whole week and get to know each other. And for me, I was so glad that we did have that. I mean, a lot of it is dancing and drinking and singing bad songs, definitely. I'm not a super party-going scene person, but I did enjoy that. But most of the reason I liked it is because that meant that the first day of university, I knew people. And I know that if I hadn't gone to that introduction week, I would be so terrified and so having panic attacks and being so anxious for the first day of university, who do I talk to? Where do I sit? How does life work? I wasn't super anxious because I knew people there. I knew that I was gonna walk up to the building, my group was like 20 people, there was at least 20 people that I knew, that I could talk with and could sit with if I wanted to do so. So that really eased my nerves personally, and most of those people that were in my group I'm not super tight friends with anymore, but especially that first week or so, I'm so glad that I had them there to like, you know, not emotional support, but just to have a little starting point, so that like a little stepping stone, so the step wasn't so big to start university and to walk into that building and like start classes and do whatever. So I'm very glad I went to introduction week, which is vaguely similar maybe to this camp, only it was not academic at all. We just drank and played games and got to know each other. It's quite fun. So if you are in a place where your university does that and you're doubting whether or not to participate, do it. Even if you end up not liking it at all, you can just stop showing up after a couple of days, but then you already know people and you already had the experience. And oftentimes it also like makes you get to know the city that your university is in. I already kind of knew the city because it's the city nearest to where I live, but still, do it. It's fun. It's a fun time. The third book I have here is actually the first book I read set at university, and also possibly the most famous young adult book set at university, maybe. It's Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. Yeah, this, you know, about a girl who writes fanfic and goes to university and has anxiety. So definitely, I think I was 15, so that's 3 years ago. Haven't reread it since, but I liked it when I read it, and very much related to Kath's anxiety. My anxiety, social anxiety, is very much diminished over the years. I don't think I'd relate to this as much as I did when I read it first, which is a bit weird because now I'm in university and back then I was in high school. But that's because I personally have changed in a way that I wouldn't relate as much to Kath anymore. Yeah, I think her anxiety also got worse because she lived at a dorm, which in the Netherlands, we don't really have dorms. You just go and look for a room in a student house, like a frat house, I guess, in America. I don't know how those things work. And currently I still live at home. I'm looking for a place right now, but I wanted to first like get through a semester without having also the stress of living on my own and having to like orient myself on living at home and still being in that safe place, because I live quite close to the university. I'm very glad I got that. I think that if I moved out immediately, that definitely would have added a lot of stress for me that now I didn't have, which is cool. And I mean, still the culture that we're in right now, where like it's custom for people to move out the moment they're 18, is stupid. I'm 18 and I am planning on moving out, but it's stupid. I feel like I'm being a burden a little bit on my parents for like but then again, like they would finance most of my like living away, so that's more of a financial burden, so like what am I even doing? So the whole culture around it is stupid. That being said, I'm looking for a place to live right now because, you know, university was a big step, right? And I'm very glad I didn't move out immediately because that would only make that step bigger. But now I've done a semester at university, I know that I'm in the right place at this university. I feel like I'm ready for the next step, and that next step would be moving out. I will definitely do like room decoration videos and things like that. I'm quite excited about that. Yeah, that's kind of it for Fangirl. Another famous book in academia slash, you know, kind of more the dark academia side of things, set at university. I don't know if it's young adult. It's probably adult. I don't. It's The Secret History by Donna's Hart. I don't have the title on the front of the book, but there you go. I don't know if I have anything to add to this. This is also one I read when I was 14 or 15. Haven't reread since. So, no, I was definitely 15. Maybe 16? 15 or 16. Haven't reread it since. So I don't know any plot details anymore. And then I read it mainly for the aesthetic. We're going to talk about classes. Maybe. My classes are pretty fun. As I said, finals are coming up, which is stressful because I've not been catching up with the reading like I should have. So that means there's a lot of work for me to do in the next week. I'm actually taking a break from studying for my philosophy of science class by filming this very video. Yeah. Is there anything else that I can talk about? Friends? Maybe? Don't do a murder? I mean, I haven't done a murder yet. I can't really relate to this one as much. I couldn't and I still can. Because the characters are very different than me, and they live in a very different time and a very different lifestyle than me, even though I'm now at university. They're all kind of pretentious, and I feel like I'm sometimes pretentious. I'm a bit hipstery, but not as pretentious as these folks. Yeah, I haven't done a murder. Can't relate to that. Is there something to say? Did they even finish their degrees in this one? I hope I get to finish my degree before doing a murder. I'll try not to say anything else that might incriminate me. That's enough for the secret history. Second to last is The Social Chord by Nora Sekovic. Another one of my favorite books. I goes to university, does a sport team. It's more centered around sports than university, but I think as settings go, as universities go, this might be the most relatable. Because like classes are the same, even though I don't do high level sport. I want to get into sports. I mean, I work out vaguely often. I mean, I go horse riding twice a week and I try to go to the gym twice a week, but often that's once. Because classes are hectic. Yeah, I really want to join a sports team. But my university is like 40 minutes away from my house. So when I move, I'll move gyms too. And then I'll probably join a sports team. I really want to. I've never really done a team sport, but I kind of want to. I'm mostly excited because our gym has a whole bunch of sports, and I'm just excited to kind of check out all of them and see if there's one that I end up really liking and possibly being good at. I mean, I'm never going to go pro, but like, I like doing sports. Controversial opinion on the internet, but I like sports. Well, I probably relate to most because I haven't really talked about that. In this book is the friendship. Well, do I relate to that? I mean, I relate to Neil's uncertainty of what it means to be friends, which is maybe a deeper thing than I was planning to talk about in this video. But I realized recently that I don't know what people think about me at all. I used to have a very negative self-image when I was younger, so I would just assume people hated me. Over the years I've become more selfish and self-obsessed and thinking I'm maybe an okay person. Maybe it's, it's a miraculous notion, but maybe I'm alright. But I've realized now that I objectively don't know what people think about me, and sometimes I feel like they're just tolerating me. Sometimes I feel like they like me. Sometimes I feel like they don't. I don't know. And Neil is also a bit like that in the way that he assumes the worst about everyone, but then like as he gets better friends with someone, he's like, what even are friends? And I'm gonna agree with that. I have a few like close friends where I'm like, I know you like me, and that's good because we like each other and it's all a very nice time. But for my new friends in university, I'm kind of like, I assume you like me. But do you really? What do you really think about me? How does this work? So that's things I'm figuring out. Because it's new friends, it's weird. The last book is another one of my favorites. It's Vicious by V. Schwab. I kind of match with both Stripey. I always call this my favorite book, and I think it is my favorite book. It's only half set at university, but I've decided to include it because I like talking about Vicious, because it's my favorite book. I don't really have anything I can relate to myself. I'm not a med student, haven't done a murder again, and we've established that. I did that in the Change My Mind book tag. I said that I stopped standing Victor a little bit and started standing Eli. That's true enough still. I still like Victor as a character. I think he's a little bit more relatable than Eli. For me at least, because Eli is very passionate in a way. He's very straightforward, black and white, like that. Whereas Victor is more pragmatic, and that's something that has always attracted me to him as a character, and that's why I initially stand him, because I'm also more a fan of that skeptical, down-to-earth pragmatism. Yeah, so that's why I like Victor. But also I care about Eli. I care about Eli now. But really Mitchell Turner is the only person that truly deserves my heart. Is there anything else? This is just me talking about Vicious, not necessarily about university. They're both top of the class. And I'm doing surprisingly well in university. I'm not top of my class, but in the midterm, I only had one midterm and I was in the top 5 of my class. And then I've been getting suspiciously high grades. Like, I've been getting higher grades in university than I got in high school, which is weird. But I don't hate it. Let's hope that carries on to, knock on wood, let's hope that carries on to finals and the rest of my university career. But so far I've been doing surprisingly well. I think Mr. Victorville would be proud. Maybe, maybe not. Yeah, I think that's all I have to say. University's fun, but a lot of work. So if you want to go to university, that'd be cool. I mean, you do you. Like Radio Silence says, it's not the only way to go, but it is a fun way to go, according to me. That was it for the video. If you have any ideas for books that I said at university, please do recommend them to me, because I would like to read more. And that was it. I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.